Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this. An ex. Someone who totally ghosted you for years, suddenly turns up,
Right?
flowers, big apology, the whole nine yards. That's kind of the political version we're unpacking today.
Mm.
After years of what looked like, frankly, zero interest, the previous U.S. administration did this massive, sudden U-turn on Africa.
A real whiplash moment.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to really get under the hood of that abrupt shift. Why the sudden focus on Africa from this former president? It's quite the puzzle.
It is. And we're going to explore the real motivations behind it. We're leaning heavily on the analysis from Vantage with Paki Sharma here.
Okay.
And they ask this really sharp question. Was this genuine diplomacy or, more of a strategic sales pitch?
That's the core of it. And the analysis uses this brilliant metaphor from ghosting to golf courses.
Ah, yeah.
It just perfectly nails that dramatic, almost, well, slightly absurd change in approach. Sets the scene perfectly, doesn't it?
It really does. It captures the suddenness.
So let's establish the backstory first. The analysis is pretty blunt. It says this former president basically ghosted Africa for years.
Right. A clear period of disengagement.
Absence.
Total absence.
Yeah.
Before this sudden reappearance.
And the way he came back, the report paints such a vivid picture. It says he was back like an ex with promises and a schedule to keep.
Wow. Okay.
So not just a casual drop-in. The main event was this Africa summit. Clearly structured, clearly meant to signal something new.
A summit. Okay. And getting specific, the analysis notes it featured 5 hand-picked leaders.
Yeah, not exactly a wide-ranging invitation list.
No. Very curated. What does that selectivity tell us right off the bat, diplomatically speaking?
Well, that's a key detail, isn't it? The report points out these leaders were, and I quote, all from resource-rich but politically quieter nations. Choosing those specific countries often signals a very pragmatic focus. Maybe, securing access to resources without the diplomatic heavy lifting or potential drama from more outspoken states. So it makes you wonder about the real goal. Deep relationships or specific interests.
Precisely. That's the question.
And then it gets even, stranger. Beyond stand-up diplomacy, the deep dive highlights some really peculiar moments at that summit.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, the president was soaking in compliments. He actually cut off speeches.
Cut them off.
Yeah, and get this, was reportedly shocked Africans speak English.
You're kidding. Shocked.
That's what the analysis highlights. It's almost awkward, isn't it? A detail like that really seems to underscore the disconnect, the lack of prior engagement.
Wow. Yeah, that really says something. And it leads right into that critical question the analysis poses. Why now?
Exactly.
If you zoom out, look at the bigger geopolitical picture laid out in the source. The answer seems pretty clear. It happened because China and Russia are making moves.
Right. So the timing wasn't random.
Not at all. It was a reaction, a response.
Yeah, the analysis suggests the main motivation was pretty simple. The former president just doesn't want to be left behind. Sounds less like a newfound appreciation for the continent and more like scrambling to keep up in a global power game.
And that brings us right back to the central theme we're exploring, the question from the source. Is this diplomacy or a sales pitch?
Yeah.
When you stack up all the details, the odd interactions, the very specific guest list, the geopolitical timing, well, those two potential motivations, diplomacy versus sales pitch, they imply very different things for international relations, don't they?
Absolutely. And for the future of how powerful nations engage with continents like Africa.
Definitely.
So what's the takeaway here for you listening? I think what this deep dive really shows is how in global politics, these big diplomatic shifts, even the really dramatic ones, are often less about genuine outreach and more about strategic positioning, responding to rivals. It's almost never just about the stated reasons, especially when resources and influence are involved.
It's complex. So maybe a final thought to chew on. In this whole arena of international relations, just how much of what looks like pure diplomacy is actually, fundamentally a strategic reaction to what other players are doing?
That's a great question.
And if that's the case, what does it really mean for the economy and interests of the nations being courted?
Yeah. It's definitely worth thinking about how often national interest, rather than sort of pure diplomatic ideals, is the real engine driving these big geopolitical moves.
Keep looking past the headlines.
Always. Keep trying to discern those underlying motivations.